So I love technology, so where kids learn about technology in class, I think it's fantastic. There are a few trends that I think are just bonkers. Kids learning about AI in class and kids learning how to develop machine learning technologies in class and implement it is something that would have been inconceivable 10 years ago, and now it's just kind of normal for kids to do that. Kids can do that in one day in an hour of code project, and they can build their own machine learning based technologies on Raspberry Pis and play with it at home. In fact, Google have done a thing called AIY, which is the artificial intelligence yourself version of DIY, and you can build your own Google Home for a few dollars. Very, very good, cool stuff. So also another trend in STEM is OER. So open education resources have been around for a few years, but I think this is the year where they're really coming of age. The first batches of OER were like textbooks on a website. It was really just text and images on a website. But now we're really starting to see good quality, interactive, science-based OER resources that teachers and students can pick up and make use of. I mean, there's a Thingiverse, which is the most incredible resource of 3D objects to print and adapt and use in classroom projects. It's a really good example. Tons of good, math resources available on OER that you can pick up and use with off-the-shelf products like our Equatio product. You can go and grab math content from probably half a dozen different OER sources now. 2 years ago, that just wouldn't have been available. I think another trend in OER is almost an uprising in kind of home shop OER. There are lots and lots of vloggers out there who are teaching people on YouTube, little snippets, and they've all got their own teaching style. And I have 2 kids who are studying science, and if they come home from school and they haven't got a subject kind of across in their head, they'll hop on YouTube and search, and there will be, really regardless of the topic, there will be 10 people trying to teach them how to do that thing in a different way, and they can pick the style of teacher that they like. My daughter has a lady that she follows for some science instruction, and she just likes the style of her teaching and the way that she communicates, and that's her kind of go-to person to get some chemistry stuff across. I think that's incredible. So assessment, there's a lot going on in assessment. I think there's a kind of one trend, and one I think I would almost classify it as a breakthrough. At TechStop, we've been working with kids with disabilities for many, many years, and it's always been difficult to allow kids to have access to their assistive technology when they're taking their assessment. There's always a trade-off between security and accessibility. And this year we've been able to make a little bit of a breakthrough by working with the assessment vendors and the platform providers and the assistive technology providers, all getting together in a kind of 3-party partnership, and hopefully millions more kids this school year are going to be able to use their assistive technology during the assessment. So I think that's great, it's a real breakthrough. I think another technical trend in assessment is using technology and AI to make ongoing regular assessment faster and easier for teachers, and also to try to take out some of the subjectivity in assessment. If you give a kid a writing task and you have 10 teachers assess that writing task, you'll probably get 10 different scores. At TechStop, we've been working on some technology to try to remove some of the subjectivity from writing assessment using AI and other statistical approaches to the assessment of writing, to allow teachers to quickly and very consistently assess writing and then be able to compare that writing to national norms and track progress against national norms and even state norms in some cases. IT costs are continuing to drop. 15 years ago, Nicholas Negroponte was talking about a 1 laptop per child initiative, and he was trying to get the cost of computing down to about $100 per kid. And everyone thought that it was a completely unachievable goal. And I went on Amazon today and I searched, and there are laptops available for $100. And they're going to continue to drop in price, and they're going to continue to get more powerful. And that just means that it's going to be more reasonable and become an expected thing for every kid to have a laptop in school. 2 years ago, Chromebooks were inexpensive and Windows computers were typically more expensive. Not now. Windows are releasing Windows Core next year, which is going to be a super light, inexpensive version of Windows to run on cheaper laptops. And yeah, we can just continue to expect things to get less expensive. Having kids be career ready is a real challenge. The world is changing so quickly, and it's changing more quickly. You know, in the last 10 years, we've seen more technology change than we saw in the prior 50 years. And when you think about getting kids ready for the workplace, that's a real challenge. There are probably, you know, several thousand people in the world now who are using CRISPR gene editing technology in their workplace. And none of them learned about it in university, because when they were at university, it didn't exist. And I really think that we need to prepare them for the digital world with digital literacy. They need to understand how computers work, and while they may not be coding in their final job, they need to have some understanding of how to code so that they can understand how the machines work that they're going to be working with. They may not all be coders, but they're all going to be interacting with technology that relies on code. And just to have that basic understanding of how computing works is going to be a real benefit for them. And also teaching them to be open-minded and not afraid of change, because we can be certain of one thing: it is going to change, you know, unbelievably in the next 10 years.